Hey everybody, this is my latest video. It's a nice, beautiful Sunday morning, so thought I'd do it out on the porch using my phone instead of my office. Uh, this video is about, sorry, I'm going to be looking down a little bit. Since I'm outside, I wrote some notes down here. So things I did wrong or things I could have done better and things that I know I did well in my marriage before divorce. It's been about 3 weeks now. Um, the number one thing, man, it's to know what you did wrong. A lot of times you're just guessing. You can't know um, what's in somebody else's head. It could be that you were a terrible person. You know what I mean? It's possible, but honestly, you should know that. I think the vast majority of guys out there that are in my position anyway, and they're willing to seek therapy and willing to, uh, you know, self-reflect are probably not bad people. They're probably people just like me that uh, got the short end of the stick. If you love your wife and she left you, that sucks. But again, this is for women as well. It can go either way. So what I'm saying is you're just guessing. You can guess all day about shit that you did wrong, uh, and maybe you're right in some situations, but chances are you're just it's there. There's no point. It's over. It's past. If she's not even willing to talk about the things that you may have done wrong, then chances are it's not you. Well, it's one of two things. It's either not your issues, or she loves you enough still that she doesn't want to hurt you, but she still wants to leave, which just means it's not your fault. It happens, man. Sucks. So okay, the second thing is in my situation, I was 27 and she was 18 when we first got together. Yeah, that very well could be part of the problem. She Part of the reason that she's saying she left now is because of we sort of grown differently. And in a way, I feel like that may be sort of a midlife crisis thing. It's there's she feels like there's something that she's missed, and I understand that. And I came to realization in the last week. You know what? I don't want you to be unhappy. I love her as well, so I don't want her to be unhappy. So I am gonna just let it go. Let her go. Be happy. If she regrets it later, I can't do anything about it. But I've decided. I have to move on, and I know you guys do too. And it sucks. It's the worst feeling. The hardest part is letting them go, and if they come back, they're yours forever. I I don't think she's coming back, and most don't. I think I read 10% of marriages, they get back together. So anyway, things that I feel like I did wrong. I didn't communicate very well. My family was one of those ones. I grew up in the '90s where you just kept things to yourself, and I think that added to my issues of just not wanting to rock the boat. And I think a lot of nice guys have that problem. You don't want to upset your wife, so you don't bring things up. Okay, so then later we got into therapy, and as soon as I started becoming comfortable with speaking my mind, it became a problem. Which, ding ding ding, red flag, right? As soon as you have a problem, it's game over. Well, that's a trigger, and I still think that's something I did wrong, and I could have done better if I would have been. And this is for everybody out there, man. All of this stuff is, if you don't talk about the problems that you have, it's gonna fester. It's gonna become a problem. And I get it, and I'll be the first one to say, sometimes you put them in a box and they go away. It happens. I get it. That's fine. Another thing that I wish I would have done better is better words of encouragement. And sometimes that's hard if you have somebody who's not motivated, whether that be just physical, like their health, or for jobs or something like that. And a lot of times a lot of times we'll crap on people. Oh, they're useless. A lot of times there's issues. There's mental health issues, and you have to manage that. You have to be okay with that. I'm going to go over that more in another video later. Some of the things that I dealt with and how I dealt with it and how much each person is able to deal with. So you have to decide that. So words of encouragement. I wish I had done better. Sometimes instead of just this is partially because of my age group and things and different and the difference in hers. I would joke about something in a way that was demeaning, and I didn't mean it that way. In my head, it was if somebody had said it to me, I'd have been like, "Hey, screw you, dude. I'm doing it," and they'd be like, "Yeah, I know. I'm here for you," you know. But that doesn't work for everybody, and we have to realize that. There's my neighbor. uh, okay. So that's the main two things that I think I did wrong. Honestly, it's not a big list. I did a here's what I did. I feel like I did right. Recognition. I recognized that she was trying her best with her mental issues that she had. I recognized that. I recognized the things that she did do. It was like it was like me climbing a mountain. You know, I don't have those issues with depression and things like that. So just her doing little things like that is a big deal, and you have to recognize that. And I feel like I did that. And sometimes they may not feel like it's enough, but with somebody that's got issues like that, there's not a lot you can do about it. You can try to give it more. You know, you do what you can do. But the second thing I think I did support that is physically and just a form of long hugs. I was told so many times that the only reason that she kept herself alive, that she didn't commit suicide, was because of my long hugs. You know, it helped ground her, and that's a good feeling that you're helping somebody with just being there for them. You know, and then second, the support is, and I try not to bring this up very much, but it's financial. It's helping with insurance. It's helping with stuff around the house when that person is in a depression. It's helping with the kids. It's just doing more because you can, because you want this person to be happy to get through it, you know. And also supporting them in ways where I was like, "Hey, come on, you need to get up and do this. It'll make you feel better. You need to get outside, get some of that vitamin D, I believe. It helps your, you know, serotonin or whatever." Okay, another thing that I think I did right is unconditional love and forgiveness. Um, People do things wrong, and if their will is not in the relationship to forgive for small things or even some big things, it depends on each person, then it's not going to work. It's not. I did a lot of things that would be considered, you know, simp or whatever the word is nowadays. Like you're a fool. You just got, you know, suckered, and I didn't feel that way. You know, unfaithfulness, money things, issues like that. Talking to people that probably, you know, shouldn't have been talking to, that sort of thing. And I forgave it and dealt with it. I forgave, you know, a lot of things, and it was unconditional. And I never, at any point, except for toward the very end, and that was a very specific issue, I never brought up the idea of leaving her. Everything that I had planned was for us forever, you know, retirement and everything. It was for us, period. But in her mind, it was still like I was ready to abandon her, which it's not real. It's just not, and there's nothing you can do about that with some people. Um, I was always faithful. This is my last thing on my list. The things that I did right. I never thought about getting with another woman or man. It didn't matter. It was just off the table. To me, that's one of those things that is not an option. Like once you, if you're not happy with being with the person that you're with, don't be with them. It's not fair to them. You know, it's just not. And I'm sorry. If you're in a marriage where that's okay, then that's fine. That's not me. Um, I might be open to something once in a while, kind of thing, but not like an all the time, you know, kind of deal with a third or two others. Anyway, I'd never been on my mind. It blows my mind when people will cheat on other people. It just and I understand why you get unhappy, you need some love or whatever. And even if I was given everything that I possibly could. It in somebody else's mind, it may not be, it may not be not enough, and they need it from somebody else. They need recognition. They need um, that love and touch of somebody else, and it's a horrible feeling. So anyway, all right, now that was the things that I feel like I did right. Now I want to talk about the love languages. If you haven't read this, then read the book about love languages, and you should. It helps a little. It's kind of wishy-washy, and I feel like I think it pulls up 4 or 5 love languages, and there's probably more than that. There's gray areas in between, things like that that you got to go with. But my 20-year-old, who's still living with me right now, he brought something up that totally, I don't know why we missed it in our relationship, but the idea that your love language is what people should do to you for your love is a total, it is partial. It is partially that's what makes you happy. But what he reminded us was that we need to understand what somebody else's love languages is, and when they do that to us, they are giving us love, and we forget about that. It may not make us feel that way, but analytically, it should. You know what I mean? It's like, oh well, my love language was, acts of, uh, I can't remember acts to do things for me, hug me, kiss me, sexual stuff, whatever, um, and taking care of things. That was me, and hers was like acts, words of encouragement and things like that. So we were doing the things that was our love language for the other person, and forgetting that the other person was showing us love in the way that they did it, and it's kind of a balance, and it's easy to forget. All right, so I want to go back to communication. The part of the problem I think that we got into was, again, was my fear of contaminating the relationship with the things that bothered me. I kept stuff in because I didn't want to upset her, and that happens, I know, with both men and women. Men tend to hold stuff in more just because they're less emotionally charged, I guess. Less they're always taught to not rock the boat. Everything needs to be calm. That's what we do. So that was part of my problem, and I think part of her problem was not communicating what she needed, which is almost the same thing, really. Um, except I tried to constantly ask, what can I do? What makes this better? I don't know. Well, I don't know what to do then. And so then she feels alone because I don't know how to help, you know? So anyway, this is getting long. I'm going to cut this. Anybody has questions? Anybody wants me to talk about anything else in any other videos? I'll try to do one here in 2 or 3 days again. I don't know who's listening to this. If you like and subscribe, I'll try to do more. Yeah, let's talk. Have a good day, guys. Bye.